Neville, and I'm here with
the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, white people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, led by Chairman Omali Yeshitela. We organize in the white community under the leadership of the party. We organize for solidarity and for reparations to African people. Yesterday, history was made when the government of South Africa appeared before the World Court in The Hague with a brilliant 85-page brief charging the state of Israel with committing genocide against the Palestinian people in intent and in practice, in violation of the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide.
And of course, the whole world has seen the evidence of Israel's hideous genocide against the Palestinian people for at least the last 3 months, with witnessing the murderous assaults by the state of Israel against the Palestinian people in Gaza, where they have killed over 24,000 people, mostly civilians, including the elderly and children, and destroyed tens of thousands of homes, temples, civic buildings, and infrastructure in Gaza.
Both South Africa and Israel are signatories on the Genocide Convention adopted by the United Nations in 1948. Scores of countries around the world are standing with South Africa's charges of genocide against Israel. Very powerful.
Yes, and of course, on the other side, the United States, as the leader of world imperialism and the center of the colonial mode of production, which has created wealth and prosperity for white people at the expense of African, indigenous, and oppressed peoples, the US is standing with Israel, with the colonial settler state of Israel, which they continue to financially and militarily back their genocidal war to the tune of billions of dollars.
But from the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, the Uhuru movement stands unconditionally with the people of occupied Palestine. We recognize their right to self-determination on their land, stolen by the illegitimate settler colonial state of Israel, US-backed, we should say. Yes. We salute the government of South Africa for this powerful stand of taking Israel to court, while also recognizing that millions of African workers inside of occupied Azania or South Africa still live in deeply impoverished Bantustans in Azania, which is known as South Africa, while the white settler population controls, and I should say continues to control, 72% of the land. The majority African population only controls 4% of the land, but yet they are 3/4 of the population of this colony, which still exists in the continent of Africa. The typical Black household in South Africa has less than 5% of the wealth of the typical white household in South Africa. And this is a wealth gap that is unchanged since the time known as apartheid.
That's right. And it's for all of these reasons and more that the Uhuru Solidarity Movement also stands unconditionally with the right of the colonized African people to their rightful land, the return of their stolen resources, which have been stolen by the colonizers for the benefit of the wealth and prosperity of white people for 600 years. And that includes African people colonized within the false, illegitimate colonial borders of the settler state known as the United States, and African people colonized around the world. And we call on white people to join the Uhuru Solidarity Movement to take the stand of anti-colonial solidarity with the African Revolution, which unites us with the Palestinian people and with all colonized and oppressed peoples around the world who are fighting for liberation from the same social system, the same colonial mode of production built on the backs of African people. We can take this stand and say no more genocide in our name, by going to uhurusolidarity.org and becoming a member. Our mission is to recruit 1,000 white people to become members of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. And you can be the latest white person to say, I stand in solidarity with the African Revolution, with reparations to African people, and say no more genocide in our name. And you can come to the Uhuru Solidarity Movement's national convention on March 9th and 10th of this year in St. Louis, Missouri, which is titled No More Genocide in Our Name, and which you can register for at nomoregenocide.eventbee, that's eventbee.com.
Unity through
Reparation.